What's up guys, Pokelando here, and today we'll be opening up some Black Bolt and White Flare packs, and I'll be going over why I think Black Bolt and White Flare is one of the more underrated, if not the most underrated specialty set we've ever had, especially in the last two blocks of Scarlet Violet and Mega Evolution. But yeah, let's open up some packs, let's see if we can pull any of the crazy cards, and yeah, let's start ripping. Here is some Black Bolt and White Flare. Of course, this is the Sam's bundle. If you have not seen this, this goes for $40 MSRP. Pretty good of a deal. And of course, look at that, that's crazy. Like I said, why is Black Bolt and White Flare pretty underrated? In my opinion, I really do think it's quite underrated. Though I have seen it pick up some steam, but I think some of the cards are still pretty normal, which is fine. You know, the cards have not moved too much, which is a good thing, of course, you know. But they haven't really dropped either. They've been stable, and I think just recently products of Black Bolt and White Flare started going up just recently. Yeah, here is the poster collection box, and here is the binder collection box, if I can get it out of here. Last time we opened up the White Flare one. This time we're opening up the Black Bolt one. I've already opened this in the past, but I got extra, so might as well open the extra up. But let's start with the binder. Let's get this out of here. All right, well, here are the packs. And this one, of course, they come with 5 Black Bolts, which the White Flare one comes with 5 White Flare. And I think this is just a little poster of Zekrom, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Nothing crazy there. I can ever open it. There it is. Yeah, five packs right there, and the binder, which is just a normal Zekrom binder, pretty solid. You know, these are pretty good. You know, they're not top loader binders, but they're good enough. All right, let's start ripping. But yeah, like I said before, Black Bolt and White Flare, pretty under the radar until recently. I will say the Pokemon Center ETBs have started picking up. Well, actually, they picked up quite a bit. We'll go over some numbers and stuff, of course, on TCG Player, whatever. But like I said, Black Bolt and White Flare were pretty chill for quite some time, and they just started ticking up. But I still think this set is quite underrated. If we can pull anything amazing from these two sets, that would be nice. First, let's just open up these 5 packs real quick of Black Bolts. But yeah, next pack. But yeah, let me know if you ever even open up the set at all. I know the set came out about 10 months ago now, 9 months ago now. I don't know, it's been a while. I believe it was last summer, so yeah, about 9-10 months ago. But Dujin, Petalil, and pulling a Meloetta, regular EX. Not our first hit, not too shabby. But next pack, but yeah, Black Bolt, White Flare, I feel like was overlooked quite quickly. Because I believe after this set, we went straight into Mega Evolution. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And all the hype was there. A new block, new Mega Evolution cards that we have not seen since 2016. The X and Y era, I believe. Yeah, it's been a long time. But Simisage, Electric, pulling another EX Exadrill. And of course, it has these hollow energies, of course. Pretty nice. Of course, the set has Pokeballs, Master Balls, SIRs, Full Arts. It has that white and black Zekrom and Reshiram and the red Victini. This set has a lot of chases. And like I said, just recently, it just blew up in price. So maybe, you know, if you don't have any, maybe now is the time to start looking. Like I said, I know this set is overlooked. I know they're printing a lot more prismatic. Well, I don't know about a lot more, but I mean, hey, if you've seen Best Buy, they're restocking the SPCs. So I feel like Pokemon is just focusing on the more hype sets, which, like I said, I think this set kind of falls under the radar a little bit. Here's the Axew, regular Pokeball, getting no illustration rare, getting Beatrix, regular holo. But let me know, do you think this set is quite underrated, or is it just me? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just like it's good, but not as good as, like, let's say Prismatic or Ascended Heroes or whatever. But let me know. The last pack right here before we go over some numbers. But Golets, Crygono, Electric. Getting No illustration rare from that, and getting a Meloetta, so 3 EX out of there. So we got, we got a double, sadly, but 3 hits is not bad, but sadly, nothing crazy there. Well, as you can see here, Black Bolt and White Flare, of course, they're different sets, but they're, pretty similar, of course, with some cards, right? Of course, you have the big hitters, the Red Victini, the Zekrom, the White Reshiram, same with double Red Victini, same card, just with different numbers on it, and one is a little bit more expensive for some reason. I guess that's just how it is. White Flare is a little bit less popular than Black Bolt. I mean, I do like Zekrom a little bit more than Reshiram, but I mean, you see these cards, 200, pretty much 400, 420, same with White Flare, 400, 360, 370, and 160. So of course White Flare is a little bit less, but there's a lot of expensive cards here. There's 3 cards over $100, and of course it does drop quite a bit here, but I mean still another 3 to 4 cards over 50. Same with this set. I mean, you have the Seismitoad, which is great. The Black or the regular Kyurem, yeah. So pretty stacked at the top, and it does drop off a little bit, but of course, what do you expect when a set is almost a year old? A bunch of illustration rares, and of course, pulling the Seismitoad is not easy. Of course, when this set came out, this card was about $350, almost $400, but of course, the price goes down about $170. It's not going to be easy to pull this card, so I mean, in the future, that's going to be an insane chase. I believe the highest illustration rare here is the Oshawa. Yeah, pretty nice. Solid, but let's look at the sealed, of course. Here are the booster bundles, about $60, $64, not too bad. Just right below Prismatic, which is where is that? Right here. Prismatic's booster bundles are going up a little bit, about $76, $75, maybe $80. So not too far off, about $10 to $15 difference. Of course, if you can get this at MSRP, that's a steal. The ETBs have gone up, like I said, just recently. These were sitting quite low for a bit. I mean, look, if you go 6 months ago, they were $84, and they sat around $84 until January, February even, and then they just shot up in February, and now they're $120. Same with probably the White Flare. I'm assuming is pretty similar. Maybe a little bit less. Like, I mean, look at that. It's about $5 less on the booster bundle. The same thing with the ETB. It's about $5 to $10 left or less. But yeah, it dropped down a little bit though. I don't know. It's weird. I don't get why White Flare is that big of a difference compared to Black Bolt. But I understand. I do think Black Bolt is the better set just by a bit, not by much, but just by a bit. And of course, the Pokemon Center ETBs are, I mean, look at this. They were sitting so low for so long. And look at that. That's a crazy buyout right there. But look at that. 190, 130 to 190 in about 3 months. And then it just jumped up to 270, almost $300. And of course, the White Flare one, lagging a little bit behind, but still jumped up like crazy. 170 to 215. This set is picking up some heat. If you have not, maybe now is the time to get some. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be printed more. Look at Prismatic. Prismatic is being printed to the ground, which it is. I mean, if you saw the recent Prismatic, the ETBs dropped so much in price recently, and I think they kind of went back up. I think because of course it's not going to last. But look at that. That is crazy. 209 to 175, maybe even lower once the reprints finally start getting in. I don't know. I really don't know anything, but apparently there's a reason why this dropped. It's insane. And of course, Ascendant Heroes is too new, but look at this set. I mean, 1,600, 660. Like, so of course, I think this set is gonna be better than the Black Bolt and White Flare. Same with Prismatic, of course. If you see the card prices, 1,000 or where is it? 1,400, 360, 270. I mean, it's kind of similar, but of course the Umbreon is king. So if it wasn't for, well, that's not true. Look at all these cards over 100. It's insane. And of course, you have the other sets like Shrouded Fable. Not even a single card over $100. Even though this has the harder hit rates, not a single card over $100. Sadly, those illustration rares are fantastic though. And of course, a set with the easier hit rates. Shrouded Pounding Fates, 730, 279, 130, and it drops off quite hard. And the sealed is going crazy. And of course, this set is about came out January 2024. About 2 years old now. Yeah, this set's going nuts. And of course, you have 151. And that's just a different beast itself. So yeah, like I said, I do think White Flare and Black Bolt are underrated, but they're kind of in their right place at the moment, but I do see them keep on booming in the near future. But yeah, let's go back and rip the rest of the packs. And here are the rest of the packs. White Flare and Black Bolt. Here are the promos from that poster collection box. Of course, are the 3 starters, Tepig, Oshawott, and Snivy. Not too shabby right there. Those are fantastic. Here's the code for that. And yeah, let's get back to ripping the last 4 packs. Let's go to White Flare, because we haven't opened up White Flare at all in this video just yet. But yeah, last 4 packs. Hopefully we can pull something insane, like I said, because I think this set is underrated, but this video is not doing too hot. We have not pulled much, or we pulled 3 hits, but they're all regular EXs, sadly. That's a good hit rate out of 5 packs, but we need something better. Scrafty, Gigalith, Bangle, Jujugon, and getting a Kofi Grigus regular holo. Nothing there. Let's move on to a Black Bolt. Back and forth here. But yeah, I do think this set is quite underrated, but I also think the set is also in the right place, and it just got to the right place as I upload this video, because this set just blew up in price. It was slowly climbing up, of course, naturally, which is a good thing, but recently it just went off. And yeah, this set was quite cheap, and I wouldn't say cheap, but like it was a lot cheaper than pretty much every other set, specialty set, other than Shrouded Fable, of course, which that is an outlier. That set really is weak in terms of SARs. But last 2 packs right here, going back to White Flare, have not pulled anything crazy though. Even though I'm saying this sits underrated, we are not pulling anything too crazy. I pulled some bangers, of course, but not every time is it gonna be insane. But Basculin, Sawsbuck, Stoutland, Cottonee. Oh my gosh. A set that you pull 1 out of 5 illustration runs. We haven't pulled 1 out of 8 packs. We're going to go our 9th pack, and we have not pulled 1 illustration. Hopefully this has the Zekrom, because that would be insane. Last pack. We need it now after all that. Oh my gosh. I did get all these at MSRP though, so that's pretty good. So I'm not spending too much. But still, I mean, I still want to get something. You know, I don't want to end off with nothing. Pansage, Pampor, Escavalier, Fennel. Oh my, that was okay. That was terrible. I'm not gonna lie. We got wrecked. I will say, we got how many hits? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 hits out of 9 packs. Is insanely good. But sadly, our hits were all EXs, bro. Are you trolling me? At least we got the Reshiram and Zekrom. Double Meloetta, Excadrill. Oh my gosh. You could have done better. There it is. So there is Black Bolt and White Flare, almost a year later. Thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, share on it there. Yeah, I do think these sets are quite underrated, even though this video did not do too well. We did get 5 hits out of 9 packs, which is really good. Sadly, all the hits were EXs. Of course they were. Classic. But yeah, these 2 sets are on the uprise. Of course, Black Bolt is a little bit above White Flare. You know, now might be the time to swoop in, even though it is only about a year old now, or less than a year, of course, about 9-10 months away from when it came out. This set might be under the radar, and maybe it won't be as reprinted, as prismatic as 151 was, as probably now Ascended Heroes. Maybe it'll go under the radar like Shrouded Fable. I don't know, right? No one knows. So this set could get a correction sometime soon, which is very possible. But yeah, I'm just letting you know, I think this set is quite underrated, but it is on the uprise now. But yeah, I'll end it there. What's my outro again? Goodbye.